Hello everybody! Today we're gonna do Arcane Library Survival Massacre Hardcore Wave 23 Start Solo. Arcane Library is actually my favorite map in the game currently. I just find it gorgeous. I know it's not a popular choice, but hey, that's just mine. Alright, so Arcane Library is, I don't think it's the easiest map in Act 3, but it's certainly not that hard. The reason is there are no copters on Arcane Library, so yeah, that's a great thing not to have any copters. The only issue is it only has 110 DU, which in my opinion is a little bit on the small side, especially compared to like a map like Royal Gardens that has 130 DU for 4 choke points, and on Arcane Library there's like 5 choke points, although you can kind of split them in like 2 main choke points. Anyways, let's jump right into the map. Alright, here we are in Arcane Library in Massacre Hardcore. Now let's just start with placing the apprentice towers. I'm gonna go with 3 DSTs and 3 fire towers. Because of the little table, it's gonna be hard to place the reflect beam, so just try to not put the DSTs in the towers just right next to the table. Just leave a little gap for the reflect beam for later. I'm just going to place a DST, so it's going to be 3, each covering one side of the map. So there we have it. This one is going to cover all that area there. Next, we're going to place the fire tower. So just make sure also that all the towers are right next to each other, because we are going to use a 40U buff beam. So this one, let's point it not over there. Let's point it here on the side. Because of the range is going to be an issue here, so you just want to make sure you have like a decent range on your tower. So, and just to help, because as you can see, the fire tower couldn't get right to the pillars over there, but it's going to help with the buff beam, which will make the fire tower reach right across the map behind the pillars over there. So now you can place the 40U buff beam. Just be sure that it buffs all 6 towers over here. So the easiest way to see if a tower's buff is not actually the animation, it's to see if there's there you go, this one is not buff. The easiest way, like I was saying, is to check if the tower is getting the defense bonus. It's gonna be a percentage right after the fortify stat, or the amount of health the tower has. So let's check again. And this one, they are all buffed, I believed. This one is buffed, and again this one is not buffed, so we'll have to replace this. This can be a little bit tricky, but we'll do anything to save some DU. So there we go. Maybe starting on this side is going to be easier, so let's just do this, a 4 DU, and it seemed to be buffed, and it is buffed this time. Alright, all 6 towers are buffed, and they are great. Alright, so we don't need to place any more apprentice towers. I'm going to switch to my monk and place the auras. So we are going to want 1 aura stack here to cover both sides. So the side that the camera is pointing to right now, and the other side, which is the hard lane here, where there will always be a guaranteed ogre there. So we're going to place another aura stack here as close as you can to the core, so the aura gets all 3 lanes. And then we don't need the apprentice anymore. We're going to place some walls. I'm going to go with EV walls. Don't make it too close to the door, because otherwise the fire tower won't be able to target enemies. So I'm going to place a fire tower here, and EV wall here, sorry. And I'm going to place a reflect beam, because sometimes there are random projectiles that do make it to the core. And with the reflect beam here, it seems to just stop. So it's an optional reflect beam. You can remove it and save 1 DU and place it somewhere else. Sorry. And here I'm going to go with square walls. I leave a little gap because sometimes the cobalt explode, and it's like if you put the wall a bit too high, it's going to be at the limit of the explosion, and it's going to take some damage. And we're going to go with 2 gas trap here. We are relying on the gas trap who touched the buff beam to get the enemies in the lane without the buff beam, without the gas trap. Sorry. Okay, here it's going to be the same thing. We're going to place a 5D wall from the corner here up to this little tile here, And here you're going to want to place a 40 wall as close as you can from this little light thing. Now the thing is, if it doesn't get to the lamp thing, the assassins are actually going to come to you and attack you on your towers, because we're going to be using a boost monk sitting on those towers. So we're going to go with 2 gas traps like this, and then I'm going to switch to my Waller EV again and place those reflect field, I believe they're called. I'm so used to calling them reflect beams. So anyways, there we go, 1, 2, 3, it's going to be 4 covering while circling the all the towers. So this is a little tricky. This is why you wanted to leave a little gap between the towers and the table, so you can place a reflect beam here, because you don't want the towers coming out of your reflect beam. So you just want to make sure that everything is inside and not touching and going over the reflect beam. So there we go, and the last one here. This one is also a little bit tricky, but I usually have an easier time with this one than the one very close to the table. So there you go for reflect beams here. I also place a reflect beam over here because I also do get some random projectiles here. It's not a very big issue, especially if the projectile doesn't do much damage to the core. You could just take 1 or 2 hits per wave. It's not that much of an issue, but I don't like seeing my core getting hit, so I'm going to place 2 reflect beams like this here. And then we're done with the build. That's pretty much it. We're just going to sit on a monk with the speedy gemstone like I have. And the thing is, you're going to want to buff, I'm going to show you which towers. Sorry about that. Oh yeah, before that, the upgrades. So what I usually do is I max upgrade this buff beam here with the mana and the remaining mana, and then I do the other buff beam over there. This one I do tier 5 on 6, not max upgraded, to keep some mana. And the strength drain I upgraded 3 times, and the electric 2 times, the walls all 2 times each, except this wall I only do 1 because it's usually the easiest lane. So this wall I do twice also, and this one I do actually 3 times because it takes a lot of damage and has a lot of ogres. So like I said, strength drains 3 upgrades and 2 upgrades on the electric auras. And then you want to sit over here on these 4 towers because these are the ones I will be buffing. So I just throw the remaining mana and the DSTs, and then we're done and the build is done. So I'm going to jump straight to wave 25 to show you how it's going to run. But before that, here are my stats. These are not the minimum stats, this is the stats, so you can play the map with not too much trouble. It's not very hard, it's actually quite easy on my boost monk, so you could go with less. Just make sure your apprentice has enough range and your monk has enough range on his auras too. Mine has 4k, but I believe you could go a little bit lower than that. It shouldn't be that much of an issue. So alright, I just have to show my 3 other builders. I'm starting to have way too many builders. So there we go, this is my Waller. Squire is not that good, the apprentice is quite okay, and my buff Eevee. So there you have it. I'm gonna jump right to wave 25, so yeah, see you then. Alright, this is wave 25, and I'm using the same strategy, buffing those 4 towers here. So let's start. I'm just staying on my boost monk, as you can see, with tower boost. You could shoot things if you're having some more difficulty than I am. I just don't really need to shoot at things. Maybe when ogres come I can help out, but I just tried not shooting at ogres, and it also does the job. I just want to watch out for some poison sirens sometimes on some lanes. It can be an issue, especially on that cobalt lane right there where there's the Jin. Except that, yeah, there we go, I got a poison siren on that lane. That's not my day because all the kobolds are going to get to the wall. And here you see I left a 2 big gap with that wall, and one mob actually got to a crystal, but that's not an issue. The other mob seems to be targeting the wall, so that's not an issue. Yeah, just watch out if you get a poison siren on that lane like I got. There we go, all the kobolds are going to get to the wall. So then we get 2 fire sirens there. It's not much of an issue. Like I said, for this map, you don't need to. You can just stay on your boost monk, and everything should be alright, except if you get a poison siren in that lane. So there we go with our first ogre. You can just leave it alone and let your towers kill him. I'm just gonna kill him to make this a little bit faster. But like I said, not necessary. This is actually my farm map when I'm watching a TV series or a movie. I have 2 monitors. I let this play in semi-afk on one monitor and I check a movie on the other one. So I just usually I don't even tower boost that much, just a couple times a wave when there's like ogres and stuff like that. This is almost AFK. Perhaps it's even 100% AFK. I never really tested. Maybe with better stat than mine, it's gonna be quite easier to AFK even with poison sirens. But for now, I just like to tower boost a couple times. So yeah, that's pretty much it. This map actually runs really fast. There's not that many mobs. So like you can see, there's only 1600 mobs so that's not a lot compared to some other maps like all class for instance. So yeah, there we go. There's also a random ogre spawn here, so you usually want to watch out you don't get that ogre like in a weak lane or something. So there I got it in a pretty nice lane where the wall has a buff beam on it, so that's not an issue. If your auras don't have a lot of fortify, just keep an eye on their health. So like as you can see, that strength drain is at half its HP. So well, it's actually gonna last until the end of this wave, so I'm not gonna repair it. But if you have less fortify, by all means go repair the auras. But yeah, you won't need to do much here. It's actually running pretty smooth. So there we go, the last couple of spiders, and this map is almost complete. There you have it. Maybe I should. I think I'm gonna go kill those enemies over there. It's a couple of spiders just stuck in that little spot. Come on, kill them. All right, let's just go kill them. And there you have it. Victory, pretty easy. It's not very hard. Perhaps I still believe Royal Gardens is easier to break into from Act 1 gear with Act 1 gear. So, but yeah, and here we got a pretty good giraffe. So yeah, this map is a nice farm. Perhaps a little bit Royal Gardens is a little bit better, but I like this map, so I'm gonna be running this while I watch my movies. So yeah, there you have it. A very nice helmet. I'm gonna take it. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope you guys liked the video. If you liked it, please subscribe. I'm trying my best to make videos about Dungeon Defenders and cover all the news and share some builds. So yeah, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you guys next time. See you!